Okay, hi everyone. Blessed fourth day of Ramadan to those of you who are fasting. So today we're going to be starting a new chapter in our learning of AdMaths. We're going to be talking about chapter 6, okay, which is permutations and combinations. I would suggest that if you have your textbook with you, open your textbook to page 148. Okay, because a lot of the examples that we are referring to today will be from the textbook, and then the questions from the module will be your homework for this week. Okay, so we are looking at page 148. Okay, in the textbook, but I'm going to show to you the PowerPoint as well. Okay, some of the questions are in the PowerPoint, so yeah, so let's go ahead and do this. Okay, so we're talking about permutations and combinations, okay, which is the sixth chapter. Just a little bit of info regarding this chapter. This chapter is actually very short. Most people will finish it in 2 or 3 classes, 2 or 3 lectures, and then after that they will answer, a lot of questions. But what I want you to note is that this topic, permutation and combinations, only comes out in paper 1. Okay, it is only in paper 1, and it is usually 2 questions lah. Okay, one question that has to do with the subtopic of permutation, and then the second question has to do with the subtopic of combinations. Sometimes you do find that in one question they combine both. They combine both situations, one permutation and one combination. But generally, we find that there's usually 2 questions lah. Okay, one has to do with permutation, and the other one is combination. Okay, and we have never seen this in paper 2, so we're going to assume that it's going to be all the way up to this final SPM. It's going to be in paper 1, okay, because it has never come out in paper 2. We've never seen it, so it's definitely going to be in paper 1. Okay, so the first thing we need to talk about is what is meant by permutation. Okay, what is meant by permutation? And let's say, in order to demonstrate this, okay, I'm going to use this example. So let's say we have these 3 seats over here. Okay, seat 1, seat 2, and seat 3. And then you have these 3 students. Let's say I take Alicia, Haris, and Sakif. Okay, so the question that obviously when we talk about permutation is, how are we going to arrange these 3 people? Okay, how are we going to arrange these 3 people so that everyone gets 1 chair? How many kinds of arrangements can we get? So for example, okay, the first arrangement can be, okay, I put Alicia over here, I put Haris over here, and I put Sakif over here. Okay, that's one arrangement. Another arrangement can be, okay, I'm going to change color. Okay, another arrangement, sorry, let's not use red lah. Okay, another arrangement can be, let me see, I put Haris over here. Okay, I put Alicia over here, and I put Sakif over here. Okay, and we find out that we can play around, but after a while, you find that, oh, okay, there's only a certain number of arrangements. Okay, and we find out that putting Alicia, Haris, and Sakif in seat number 1, seat number 2, seat number 3 is a different arrangement compared to putting Haris in the first seat, Alicia in the second seat, and Sakif in the third seat. Yeah, I know both arrangements, Sakif has the same place, but this is still considered a different arrangement compared to the black color one. Okay, so what is meant by permutation? Okay, permutation is actually an arrangement of a group of objects in a particular order. Okay, that is a permutation. When you permutate, a certain situation, it is an arrangement. Okay, so when you say, okay, how many permutations can there be? You're actually basically asking, how many arrangements can there be? But the important thing about permutation is that the order is very important. When we arrange Alicia, Haris, and Sakif, it is a different permutation than Haris, Alicia, and Sakif. Okay, because the order, dia punya urutan di mana diorang keluar itu, atau urutan di mana diorang disusun, itu yang menjadi sangat penting. Okay, and that's the idea behind permutation. You want to find out how many arrangements you can make, how many different types of ways you want a certain outcome to be. Okay, in this case, in this example that I'm giving you, it's the simplest example there is. I give you 3 chairs and I give you 3 students. How many ways can I have to arrange 3 students? Okay, other ways to give a little bit of variety is if I have 5 chairs, but I only have 3 students. So how many different ways I can arrange the 3 students in that 5 chairs? Okay, given that every seat in the 5 chairs is different. Okay, if let's say I put Haris in the first, and then Elisha in the third, and then I put Sakif in the fifth. Okay, it's different from if I put Haris in the first, Elisha in the second, and Sakif on the fifth. It's a different arrangement altogether because the number of chairs is already different. Okay, or another way is if I have 3 chairs, but I have 10 students. If I have 10 students, but I only have 3 chairs. So how many ways can I permutate the number of arrangements? And that's a lot more complicated because from the 10 students, I have to pick 3. Then from the 3, I have to arrange them. Okay, so there's going to be a lot of different arrangements that we can talk about. Or even worse, what if there are 10 chairs and you have 10 students? Then you want to permutate all of them. You cannot not do it manually. This is something that cannot be done manually. Okay, so there has to be a simpler way of doing it. Okay, there has to be a simpler way of finding out how many possible arrangements there are. And this is the important thing. When we find that when we answer more and more permutation questions, we're not interested in what the arrangements are. Okay, kita tidak pentingkan apa susunannya. Kita mementingkan berapa jenis susunan yang ada. How many different types of arrangements can you get? Okay, given the situation that, given the conditions of the situation. Okay, so this is the important thing you need to remember. I'm not interested in what the arrangements are. I'm interested in how many possible arrangements, how many possibilities you can have. Okay, when we do a permutation, section, how many arrangements can be done is the basic thing that you want to know. Okay, either by permutating or the next subtopic is combination. Okay, so in order for us to do that, the most basic thing that we need to understand whether we're doing permutation or the next one combination is that both these two things, both permutation and combination, live by one very important rule, which is the multiplication rule. Okay, so for example, you have 2 different events. Okay, if one event can occur in m number of ways. Okay, let's say m is 2 ways. Okay, for example, if there are, let's say in our class, let's say in our class we have 14 guys and 15 girls. Okay, so in our class we have 14 guys and 15 girls. So let's say I want to choose for my own fun. Okay, let's say I want to choose one guy and I want to choose one girl to represent our class for don't know what. So the first event is choosing a guy, obviously okay. Let's assume that all guys are guys and all girls are girls okay. So let's assume that there are 14 guys. So yeah, the event is you want to choose a guy. So this can occur in 14 number of ways. Okay, I can choose Nigel, I can choose Haris, I can choose Ethan, I can choose Sakif, I can choose Aidan. Okay, there are 14 guys for me to choose from. And the second event can occur in n number of ways. Let's say the second event is I want to choose one girl. Okay, so the second event there are going to be 15 possible ways for me to choose. Okay, so how many pairs can I get? Okay, berapa banyak pasangan yang saya boleh dapat is m times n. Okay, the number of arrangements or the number of pairs that I can get will be 14 times 15, which is my calculator so far away. What's 14 times 15? 14 times 15. Okay, there are 210 ways. Okay, there are 210 ways for me to find, to figure out a pair from one guy and one girl from the class. Okay, 210 possible combinations. What if I want to choose two guys? Okay, what if I want to choose two guys? So the first event, okay, so the first event will be choosing one guy lah, which is 14. Okay, there are 14 ways to choose one guy. But the second event is choosing another guy. But I have already chosen one. So how many guys are there left? So there's going to be 13 guys lah. Okay, so if there's 13 guys, so the number of ways the second event can occur is 13. So how many possible pairs of two guys can I find? It will be 14 times 13, which will be 14 times 13 will give us 182. Okay, so there are 182 ways I can pair up the guys, okay, to choose them for whatever lah. Okay, and of course we know that one of the pairs in the 182 is Hafiz Low and Prem, okay, contohnya, okay, or Spencer and Shane. Okay, that's another. But again, as I said, I'm not interested in what the choices are. Saya tidak kisah pun, saya tidak berminat lah, okay, tentang apa dia punya pilihan. I just want to know how many possible ways I can figure out a pair. Okay, berapa kemungkinan yang ada. And that's basically the thing about this one. Okay, I want to know how many arrangements there can be, how many ways. Okay, these are words that you're going to hear very often. How many arrangements, how many ways. Itu yang saya mau. Okay, so please remember this whenever we answer questions. I want to know how many ways. I'm not interested in what the ways are. I just want to know how many ways there are going to be. Okay, let's do a couple of example questions. Okay, these are all taken from your textbook. So I'm going to start with question number 1. Okay, a squash player plays 3 successive league matches. Okay, how many different outcomes can X obtain from these 3 matches? Okay, so if you think about it, okay, it can be win, lose, lose, or win, 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 or win, win, lose. Okay, there's going to be like, blah, 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 so many lah. Okay, but let's think about it. Match number 1, how many outcomes can there be? Obviously, there's only 2 lah. Okay, it's either you win or you lose, because when you play squash, there's no such thing as draw. Okay, I hope you know this. Okay, so there's 2 possible outcomes for the first match. The second match, there's going to be 2 possible outcomes, either win or lose lah. And the third match, there's going to be also 2 possible outcomes. And the multiplication rule is all 3 together, okay, since they are all successive, okay, one after another, so we multiply them. So 2 times 2 times 2 will give us 8 possible outcomes. Okay, from the 3 matches, there are 8 possible outcomes. So one of the outcomes is this, win, lose, lose. Itu satu kemungkinan. Win, win, win is another kemungkinan. Win, win, lose is another kemungkinan. Win, lose, win is also another kemungkinan. Notice that walaupun dia kalah sekali, tapi dia punya urutan kalah itu adalah penting. Okay, this is permutation, very important. Win, win, lose, and win, lose, win is 2 different arrangements altogether. Okay, so in permutation, the important thing that you must remember is the arrangement is very important. Okay, because every arrangement is a permutation. Okay, I think you can figure out what the other 4 is lah. Of course, one more is lose, lose, lose lah. 3-3 pun dia kalah. It's a very bad squash player. Okay, figure out the rest of the 3 on your own. Okay, third one. Number 3, a student can choose to walk or cycle to school. There are 2 possible ways that he can go to school. Okay, so find the number of different ways that this student can go to school for 3 consecutive school days. Okay, 3 hari berlainan. And we find that it's actually the same way. Okay, on the first day, he has 2 ways. Either he walk or cycle to school. On the second day, he has 2 ways to go to school, walk or cycle. On the third day, he has 2 ways to go to school. So for all 3 school days, since they happen successively, we use the multiplication rule. 2 times 2 times 2. We find that for all 3 days, there are 8 possible arrangements of ways that he can go to school. Okay, either walk, walk, and walk, or cycle, 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 or walk, cycle, walk, or walk, walk, cycle. Okay, ada banyak lagi lah. Okay, you can figure out, the rest of the 8 arrangements. But guys, listen now. This is the simpler example of 8 arrangements. You can do it manually, you can do it using the multiplication rule. Okay, but obviously we know that when it comes to maths, there's no such thing as small number answers like 8. My goodness. Tiada lah. Okay, so we're gonna go into let's do another example. Let's look at question 5. Okay. The serial number on a Cineplex ticket, okay, starts with a letter of the alphabet followed by 2 digits. So, there's an alphabet and then there's a digit and then digit. Digit means number lah. Okay, so there's one alphabet and 2 numbers. Okay, the serial number. So find the number of serial numbers that can be issued. This is the important thing. Find the number of arrangements of serial numbers that can be issued. Okay, if the letter and digits are chosen from the letters after and digits 1, 2, 3, and 4. Okay, and the repetition of digits now means, okay, ini maksudnya you cannot repeat the digits lah. Means kalau katakan saya sudah pilih satu kan, yang digit kedua ini tidak boleh satu juga. It must be another number. Okay, so let's consider this. How many ways are there to choose a letter? Okay, there are 5 ways because there are 5 letters. A, F, T, E, R. Okay, so done. How many ways are there to choose the first digit? How many digits are there? 1, 2, 3, 4. So there are 4 ways to choose the first digit. Okay, once you have chosen the first digit, okay, then you want to choose the second digit bahkan. But remember, you cannot repeat the number. So kalau satu nombor sudah kena pilih, let's say lah, saya sudah pilih nombor 1 kan, tinggal berapa nombor lagi? Tinggal 3 nombor. So it will be 3 ways to choose the second digit. And so how many serial numbers can we get? It will be 5 times 4 times 3, which will give you 60 different serial numbers. Okay, and this is a prime example that you cannot do it manually. Yes, you can. Kalau kamu mau, you can do it manually, but you want to do 60 arrangements for this is a 2-mark question. Okay, could be 1 mark also depending on the situation. But 60 arrangements is a lot of arrangements and a bit too much work for this. So better to use the multiplication rule. Just figure out how many ways are there to do the first thing. How many ways are there to do the second thing? How many ways to do the third thing? Okay, and I find that whenever it comes to questions like this, permutation and combination, you need to have a little bit of logic lah. There's really not that much calculation. You just have to understand the situation. Okay, memahami situasi itu sangat penting. And again lah, in order for you to understand the situation, okay, you cannot just cepat-cepat membaca lah. Okay, slowly read, slowly understand the situation, and then after that, figure out the answer to the question. Okay, hold on now, let me just check. Okay, number 7. Now by listing out all the possible arrangements, okay, now we are listing out, find the number of 2-letter words or 3-letter words, okay, that you can form from the letters of the word cake. Okay, so far, let's list down lah. So the first one will be C-A, C-K, C-E. Okay, and then the second one will be A-K, A-E. And remember, A-C is also an arrangement because C-A and A-C are 2 different arrangements. Okay, apa lagi? K-A, K-C, and K-E. Okay, and then the last one, E-C, E-A, and E-K. Okay, so you have 12 possible arrangements. Okay, what about the 3-letter words? Let's do the 3-letter words. Wah, banyak ini. C-A-K, C-A-E, C-K-E. Do we have any more? Okay, never mind. Let's just try. Let's just keep doing. A-C-K, A-C-E, A-K-E. Wow, actually, it's not even this, no. Every arrangement is different, right? So this will be C-K-A, C-E-A, C-E-K. Kan? Lebih banyak lagi because C-A-K and C-K-A are 2 different arrangements. So a lot more. Wow. How about this? A-K-C, A-E-C, A-E-K. Okay, and we find out that, this is a very long-winded way to do this, but okay, fine, we can do this anyway. Okay, KCA, KAC, KAE, KEA, K apa lagi? KCE and KEC. Okay, one more, ECA, EAC, E apa lagi? EAK, EKA, ECK kah? Yeah, CK and EKC. Okay, so take a look. There are 12. Okay, there are 12 possible two letters, and then there's 4 times 6. There's 24. There's 24 possible three letter arrangements. Okay, and this is very time consuming because you have to figure out one by one and think very logically. And remember that because we are permutating, every arrangement is different. Okay, CAK and CKA are two different arrangements, cannot be the same. Okay, but question is, in each case, determine the number of words that begin with a consonant. Okay, consonant, okay, a few things that you need to know lah. Okay, consonant, okay, and vowel. Another one is odd number and even number. Okay, trust me, I have come to the realization that sometimes, even at Form 5, okay, ada orang yang masih tidak tahu perbezaan di antara nombor ganjil dan nombor genap. Okay, the difference between odd numbers and even numbers, consonants and vowels. People, these are all very basic things that anybody in Standard 1 should already know. So I hope that in Form 5 we don't forget these things. There are only 5 vowels in our alphabetical system, which are what? Which are A, E, I, O, and U. Everything else is consonant. B, C, D, F, G, H. Itu semua adalah huruf consonant. Odd numbers are numbers that cannot be divided wholly by 2. Even numbers can be divided completely. So 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, all these are even numbers. Odd numbers are 1, 3, 5, 99, 101. Ini semua adalah odd numbers. Okay, I cannot stress this enough because I have lost count of how many students I have taught, okay, that still don't know until today the difference between consonant, vowel, odd number, and even number. So tolong ketahui inilah. So determine the number of words that begin with a consonant. Okay, I'm going to change color so that we can use this. Okay, consonants are non-vowel letters. So asalkan dia bukan bermula dengan A, E, I, O, U, we are safe. So there is 3 over here because all 3 start with consonants, and then K over here. Ini semua bermula dengan consonants. So there are 6. Okay. So what about this way? This one is called consonants kan. Okay. So 6 over here, and then another one is 6 over here. Okay. So the answer is 12. But the problem is this lah. How do we use multiplication rule to do all this? Okay, instead of using this very, very long way, okay, of course we want to know how to use multiplication rule. Okay, so I'm going to rub this section off. Okay, so let's say if you want to, I find that in order to do this, the best way to do this is to use tempat kosong. Okay, if let's say, okay, the first question is how many number of words that begin with a consonant but only 2-letter words. So if there are 2-letter words, okay, what you do is you fill in 2 spaces. Okay, the first space can only be filled with a consonant. Daripada 4 huruf ini ada berapa consonant? Okay, there are 2. So there are only 2 ways to fill in this first one because syarat yang dia bagi adalah dia mesti consonant. Okay, once you have put one consonant in, okay, this one is free for all. Okay, suka hati lah what letter you want to put here. So how many ways are there to put a letter in here? Because there are only 3 letters left, so there are 3 ways. So 2 times 3 will be equals to 6. Okay, 2 times 3 will be equal to 6, which is the answer over here lah. Okay, At this point, some of you may be asking, kenapa ini bukan 4 nah? Okay, because there are 4 letters mah. But let me tell you, one letter already you put in the first one. Okay, once you put the first letter, and usually we assume that there's no repetition, there's obviously only 3 letters left, right? Okay, so it cannot be 4 letters over here. Okay, so the 3-letter words also work the same way. Okay, let's say the 3-letter words, so I put 3 tempat kosong. Okay, this one must begin with a consonant. How many consonants are there in C-A-K-E? Only C and K, so the answer will be 2. How many ways can I put in here? Because there are only 3 letters left, it will be 3. Once I put 2 letters in here, I'm left with 2 letters to fill into the last space. So this one will be only 2 possible ways for me to do. So 2 times 3 times 2 will give me 12 ways. And this is actually what we want. Okay, ini cara yang cepat untuk mengetahui bilangan cara. Ini cara yang lambat, dan kalau kamu sudah habis menjawab semua soalan, then you can use this method lah. Okay, if there are only 12 that you want to find. Okay, so understanding how the multiplication rule works and the very basics of once you put in something, you cannot repeat it lah. Okay, because every arrangement is different. Okay, if you can repeat, then it's a different ball game altogether. Okay, but right now we are talking about non-repetitive. Okay, kalau kau sudah letak huruf C, kau tidak boleh pakai huruf C balik. You have to use A, K, or E. Okay, so how many possible ways are there to put it lah? Okay, so 2 times 3 will be 6. Okay, so this is an example of multiplication rule. Okay, which is the first and most basic thing about permutations that we need to understand. And actually, every time when we talk about, even later when we talk about combinations, we find that the multiplication rule still applies. Okay, if there are successive events, event yang berturutan, peristiwa yang berturutan, okay, we follow the multiplication rule. First thing, second thing, third thing. Okay, we don't choose all 3, or we don't arrange all 3 at the same time. We have to fill in one first, and then the other, and then the other, so that we can use the multiplication rule. Okay, let me just check if there's any questions from anyone. Okay, all right. So far, no questions. If you have questions, just put it in the live chat lah. Okay, all right. So next thing we need to talk about. Oh, sorry, we still have another few questions. Oh yeah. Okay, sorry. Let's look at question 10. Okay, experiment is conducting by tossing 1 dice twice. Okay, dice is dadu. Okay, so you want to toss it twice. So each toss results in either a score of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, or 6. Okay, maybe at this point, some of you are asking me, ini kan masuk akal. Every dadu also got 6. Really? Every dadu got 6 only. You've never seen a 12-sided die. Have you ever seen a 12-sided die? Okay, if you play enough Dungeons and Dragons or RPG games, you will know that the old school players, they use many sides. So it's very important that this question tells us how many sides there are in the die, in the dice. Okay, actually it's die lah. So find how many different results one can obtain from this experiment. Okay, so let's say okay, let's put this into perspective once again. Okay, so first time, second time. Okay, so the first time, how many kinds of results can we get? Since there are 6 numbers, there will be 6 kinds of results lah. Either kau dapat nombor 1, nombor 2, nombor 3, nombor 4, nombor 5, atau nombor 6. Okay, then the second time you throw the die. Same thing also, you will get another 6. So how many possible results can you get? You will get 36 types of results. Okay, are we interested to know what the results are? No, we are not. We are only interested to know how many types of results you can get. Okay, so don't go and waste time by listing down everything, because it's a very big waste of time. Use the multiplication rule. Okay, what about if the what about if the dice gets tossed 3 times? Kita buang 3 kali. Okay, how many different outcomes can one get from the experiment? Same thing. Let's do 3 times throw. First time, how many? 6. Second time, how many types of results you can get? 6. Third time, how many you can get? Also 6. So all 3 together, how many types of this one you can get? You will get about 216 different outcomes. Okay, 111, 112, 113, and all so on and so forth. Sampai last is 666 lah. Okay, yeah, altogether 216 different outcomes. Okay, and that's basically what we need you to understand. Okay, we are not interested, as I said, we're not interested in apa dia punya outcome. We are only interested in how many outcomes can there be. And we use multiplication rule. Kita fikir secara berpisah dahulu, baru kita darab semua. Okay. Now, I want to purposefully take a look at this question because this is the kind of question that is very generally asked lah. So you have 3 coins of respective diameters. Kamu ada 3 duit shilling. Okay, one is 3 centimeters, one is 4 centimeters, and one is 5 centimeters in diameter. Okay, are to be inserted into a box. Okay, and this box has 4 slots. Okay, I'm going to draw this over here. First slot, second slot, third slot, fourth slot. The first one is 3 cm, the second and the third one is 4 cm, 4 cm, and the last one is 5 cm. Okay, find the number of ways one can insert the 3 coins into the box if no slot can be used more than once. Okay, that means kalau kau sudah letak ini 3 cm di sini, kau tidak boleh letak, kau tidak boleh, ini sudah kena ambil lah. Okay, so how will we do this? Okay, let's consider the 3 cm, let's consider the 5 cm one lah. Daripada ini bahkan, what coins can go into the 5 cm slot? Okay. Oh, sorry. Yeah. What coins can go into the 5 cm slot? But remember, we need to put all 3 in, So that means there's only one way. There's only one coin that can go in here because, the 4 and, correct, the 4 cm and 3 cm boleh juga masuk di dalam 5 cm punya slot. Okay, but the problem is kalau sudah kena masuk ini bahkan, then where is the 5 cm going to go? Okay, so we need to think about this logically. It takes a little bit of thinking. Okay, di sini logical thinking needs to be done lah. Okay, now, so then that leaves us with, the 4 cm and the 3 cm one. Okay, so we find that, 4 cm, how many slots can the 4 cm go? It can go into 2 slots. Okay, so it'll be 2. What about the 3 cm one? The 3 cm one can go into the 3 cm slot and the 4 cm slot. So there are 2 possible boxes that the 3 cm can go. So it'll be 2 times 2 times 1. So you get the answer 4. Okay, think about it. The 5 cm coin can only go into this box. So there's only one way for this to go in. The 4 cm coin can only go into one of these 2. Okay, so there's 2. But the 3 cm coin, dia boleh pilih mau masuk sini ke, mau masuk sini. So there are 2 possible ways for it to do it. Okay, 2 ways. So 2 times 2 times 1 will be 4. Okay, because satu sudah kena ambil. Alright. Question B, sorry, this is question A. Okay, question B, if there is no restriction on the number of coins that can go through any slot. Number of coins, that means semua 3 masuk di slot yang 5 cm pun boleh. So how? Okay, so let's put the same 4 slots again. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, this is the 5 cm slot, this is the 4 cm slot, 4 cm slot, this is the 3 cm slot. Okay, so how many coins can go into the 5 cm slot? All 3 lah. Kan? How many coins can go into the 4 cm slot? Only 2. Yeah. Okay. And then how many coins can go into the other 4 cm slots? Also can also 2, but only 2 lah. Okay. And how many coins can go into the 3 cm slot? Only 1. So 1 times 2 times 2 times 3 will give us 12. So there are 12 possible ways. Okay, if there's no restriction to the number of coins that can go through any slot. Okay, so this is a kind of common question lah. Okay, yang selalu orang akan tanya, yang selalu ditanya. When it comes to multiplication, but it's a complicated question, I know. Okay, but please take some time, okay, to figure it out. As you can see, none of dia macam how do I say this? Compared to all the complicated calculations that we've been doing since the beginning of the year, this seems like pretty like kenapa macam tidak payah ada otak dan soalan ni. Actually, this is the one that requires more brains than ever because you're not answering based on habit or practice, but you're answering based on logical thinking. This is where the logical thinking really will help you. Okay, so learn to read the question slowly, learn to understand what the question wants, and learn to consider the situation. Okay, don't jump into the question and oh ni macam practice je, banyak-banyak practice boleh ni. Can lah boleh, tapi you need to train your brain also. Okay, for logical thinking. Alright, now we come into permutation proper. So permutation of n different objects. N different objects means let's say I have 10 different objects. How do I arrange all 10 lah? Okay, ini sekarang yang saya cakap right, is all. Okay, all kena arrange. It means if I have 10 objects, I want to permutate all 10. If I have 10 students, I want to arrange all 10 students. Okay, if I have 10 oranges, I want to see how many arrangements of the oranges I can have. And when we say arrange, we usually mean it in one line. Okay, satu urutan tertentu. Okay, or for example, let's say you have 25 books. I want to see how many arrangements of the books that I can have. Okay, maybe book number 1 in front or book number 1 in the middle. Okay, terpulang lah. So if let's say you have n different objects, okay, and you want to permutate them, okay, and this is how we do it lah. Okay, we have this thing called NPN. Okay, P stands for permutation. You have n different objects and you want to permutate n objects. Okay, and NPN is defined as n times n minus 1 times n minus 2 all the way until times 1. Okay, the lowest number will be 1. Okay, so for example, if we have 5 objects and you want to permutate all 5, it will be 5 times 4 times 3 times 2 times 1. Okay, in the same way, if let's say you have 10 objects and you want to permutate all 10, this will be 10 times 9 times 8 times 7 times 6 all the way until times 3 times 2 times 1. Okay, but that's a very long way to do it lah. So thankfully, our calculator has given us this as 10. Now this is a new word, 10 exclamation mark, bukan exclamation mark. This is called a factorial. Okay, 10 factorial. 10 factorial means 10 until 1 multiply 10 times 9 times 8 times 7 times 6. So in the same way, if you have let's say 100 factorial, okay, it'll be 100 times 99 times 98 times 97 all the way until times 1. Okay, and that's the meaning of the factorial. Now, to show you what the factorial is like, and then we'll come back to me. Okay, the factorial sign is found here. Okay, on the X here, you have to press shift lah. Okay, so for example, if you want to find 10 factorial, you will press, you will press 10, okay, and then shift, and then this one. Okay, so you see this 10 factorial over here. Okay, it will be 3628800 lah. Okay, it's a lot. Okay, if you want to do it manually, also can. 10 times 9 times 8 times 7 times 6 times 5 times 4 times 3 times 2 times 1. Okay, which is what I'm doing over here. Okay, 6, and I will get the same answer. Okay, so rather than waste your time, okay, finding for the 10 times 9 times 8, okay, just do 10 factorial lah. So what about 100 factorial? Okay, 100 factorial is going to be pretty much lah. So it's going to be, wow, math error, it's too much lah. Oh, sorry. Let me see. Yeah, it's a bit too high. Okay, 50 factorial. Okay, 50 factorial is this super huge number, sorry. Okay, 3.04 times 10 to the power of 64, guys. 10 to the power of 64. Which is why 100 factorial is very hard to find because it's 10 to the power of, a very big number. Okay, but yeah, don't worry lah. They won't ask you to go all the way into factorial sampai 100 lah. Okay, but the point is this lah. Okay, please know where the factorial lies. Okay, so but remember, this is kalau semua kamu mau arrange, then you use factorial. Either you use factorial or you use 5p5. Okay, I'm going to teach you the p later lah. But let's talk about the factorial first lah. Okay, so let's do this lah. Okay, for example, question What do I want to do? Okay, I want to do question A. No, sorry, question D. Okay, 9 factorial it will be very simple. All you need to do is press 9 shift factorial. Okay, and then you will get the answer 362880. Okay, and then what about question E? Okay, question E is 15 factorial divided by 11 factorial. Okay, I know you can do 15 factorial divided by 11 factorial. Use divide, people, not per. Okay, use divide and not per. Let me show you. Okay, sorry. Use divide, okay, and not per. So what you get is 32760. Okay, but I want to tell you an alternative way to do this instead of, okay, I know using calculator is a lifesaver, but I think it's also good for you to know this as well. Okay, so let's say 15 factorial. Okay, so 15 factorial is 15 times 14 times 13 times 12 times 11 factorial, 11 all the way to this one, over 11 factorial. And you find that actually the 11 factorial you can cancel out. So essentially it's just 15 times 14 times 13 times 12, which if you calculate now, 15 times 14 times 13 times 12, you get the same answer as you would have gotten, 32760. Okay, because the factorials can actually be cut lah. Okay, so just know it that way lah. Okay, another one. I want to do question H because there's one very important thing that I want to show you over here. Okay, so 80 factorial times 0 factorial over 78. Now, before we go into anything, I know that this 80 will be 80 times 79 times 78 factorial. Sorry, here factorial. Okay, times 0 factorial. So 78 factorial can cut. So it's basically 80 times 79 times 0 factorial. Okay, guys, take out your calculator and click what is 0 factorial. Okay, 0 factorial you find is actually equals to 1. Okay, and this brings us to a very important piece of information. Okay, that 0 factorial is actually equal to 1. Okay, it is not 0. Why is 0 factorial equal to 1? It is something that is studied at university level, which I'm not going to prove today. Okay, I just want you to know that 0 factorial equals to 1. Okay, not everything yang berkaitan dengan 0 is equal to 0. Okay, please know this. 0 factorial equals to 1. Just like anything to the power of 0, 3 to the power of 0 is also equal to 1. All these kind of things, a lot of people like to assume, asalkan darab dengan kosong kan terus kosong. Tidak. Okay, so actually, since 0 factorial equals to 1, so actually the answer is just 80 times 79, which is 6320. Okay, yeah, which is the answer for this. Okay, now remember, we use factorial if we have a certain number of objects and we want to permutate all of it. Okay, all of it kita mau permutate. We don't want to permutate some of it. We want to permutate all of it. We want to arrange all of it. Okay, so that's how we use it. Let's take a look at question number 16. How many 4-digit numbers can you form from the digits 1, 2, 3, and 4 without repeating any digit? Now, this is a very important statement. Kalau kita boleh repeat, then we are in a lot of trouble. Okay, since we cannot repeat, means every number you can only choose once. Okay, so think about it. How many numbers you have? You have 4 numbers. Number 1, number 2, number 3, number 4. Okay, what is the number that you want to make? A 4-digit number means you want to choose all 4 the numbers. You want to permutate all 4 numbers. So actually the answer to this will be just 4 factorial. Sebab kamu ada 4 nombor, kamu mau pilih dan atur. Okay, you want to choose and arrange all the 4 numbers. So it's just 4 factorial, which is 4 factorial will give you 24. Okay, first thing, sorry, don't know how many you think now, but this is the thing I understand. Okay, if you have a certain number and you want to permutate everything, okay, then you just use the factorial method. So much more easier. Okay, I just want to mention that the word permutation dalam bahasa Melayu is called pilih atur. Okay, and pilih atur actually if you think about it is ada dua kerja lah. First kamu pilih nombor itu dan kamu kemudiannya atur. Berapa aturan yang kamu boleh buat. Okay, is basically what permutation is. So if you have 4 numbers, kamu mau pilih semua 4 itu dan kamu mau atur ke 4 nombor itu, then you use 4 factorial. It's just very basic factorial work. Okay, nothing very complicated over there lah. Okay, so that's the second thing that we need to talk about. Okay, I got time. So let's talk about the third thing. Okay, this is a different case altogether. Okay, this is permutation of n different objects, but you've taken R at a time. Okay, so let's say, for example, in the example I gave just now, there's 29 people in the class, and I only want to choose 3 people. This is what it means. I have n different objects. I have 29 different people in the class, but I only want to take 3, and I want to arrange the 3 people. Okay, just like just now in the example that I gave you much earlier. Okay, there's 29 people in the class, and I only want to isi this tiga ini saja. Okay, so let's say the 3 students that I pilih is Elisha, Haris, and Sakif, and then I want to atur diorang. So how many different kinds of arrangements I can have? Okay, but there's only 3 lah. Even the 3 that you want to pilih is a different arrangement. Elisha, Haris, and Sakif is one arrangement, one set of pilihan. Another set of pilihan is Elisha, Haris, and Nicole. Let's say, for example, another set of pilihan. So it's going to be a lot of different types of arrangements you can have because there's so many people in the class now. Okay, so in order for us to simplify a complicated matter, this is probably the ultra important one now. Okay, NPR equals to n factorial divided by n minus r factorial. Okay, for example, let's say I have 10 people in the class. Let's say I have 10 people in the class, and I only want to choose 3 people, okay, to go sightseeing with me somewhere. Okay, let's say. So this will be 10 factorial over 10 minus 3 will be 7 factorial. Okay, and we have learned just now that this is actually 10 times 9 times 8 times 7 factorial over 7 factorial. If we cut, we get 10 times 9 times 8 will be 720. There are 720 sets of 3 students that I can get. Okay, just from 10, just from 10 students. Okay, so there are 720 possibilities. Do you want to count all the 720 possibilities? No, that's not the point of this question. The point of this question is how many possibilities can I have? Itu saja saya berminat. Okay, but besides that, another way that you can do this is again to use the calculator. Okay, so let me show you how the calculator works. So if you have NPR, the NPR button is located at the multiply over here. See the shift over here, NPR? Yeah. So let's say you have 10 P3 just now, right? So you press 10 first. Okay, you press 10, then you press shift, and then the NPR button. Okay, then you see this letter P. Okay, then after that you press 3 because 10P3 is what I want. And just now the answer I got was 720, right? Ta-da! 720. Okay, so using the permutation method without having to use the long-winded method, which is the one that I showed you here just now. Okay, this is the long-winded method. It's good for you to know. You need to know this. Okay, but I'm just telling you that there's actually a shortcut which is actually found in the calculator itself. Okay, but remember, this case is different from the previous case. Ini adalah kamu ada 10 orang dan kamu pilih semua, cuma kau kena atur. Okay, ini pula adalah kamu ada 10 orang, tapi saya mau pilih dulu 3, lepas tu saya mau atur itu 3 orang. It's a different case altogether. Out of the 10, I don't want to take everybody. I only want to take 3, and then I want to arrange the 3. That's the permutation. Okay, so we find that NPR okay, is the way to do this. Let's take a look at question 17. Okay, so how many different debating teams, okay, each comprising of a first speaker, second speaker, third speaker, and a reserve speaker. Okay, so kamu punya team ini ada 4 orang, can be formed from a training squad of 4 students. Okay, think about it. Kamu ada 4 murid. Okay, you have 4 students and you want to pick 4 people to form the team. So 4 pick 4 is you pick everybody bahkan. So the answer will be 4 factorial. We use factorial because kamu mau pilih semua. Okay, so don't bother wasting time with that. 4 factorial will be 24. Yeah. Okay. B. What if you have 6 students? Let's say my training squad, I have 6 students. I only want to choose 4. This one everybody knows. Kalau kamu mau pilih pemain, bahkan you have 23 people who come for the training, but you only want to pick 11. Is the most, So how many different arrangements can you have? So the answer will be, saya ada 6 orang semuanya, dan saya mau pilih dan atur. I want to permutate only 4 people. I want to choose and arrange, 4 people. So 6p4, okay, according to our calculator, 6p4 will give us 360. Yeah, 360 possibilities, okay, possible squads that you can have. Okay, but again, as I said, the point is not figuring out what the arrangements are. The point is understanding what the question wants, okay, and the situation behind the question. Okay, you have 6 students, I only want 4 because the question tells us that we want 4. Let's go to question 19. Okay, 19. Determine the number of possible arrangements to seat 5 persons in a row of 5 chairs. So think about it. You have 5 chairs. Okay, and you only have 5 people that you want to arrange. So this one is a no-brainer. Kau ada 5 tempat dan kau ada 5 orang saja. So this will be 5 factorial. Okay, 5 factorial will give you 120. I think so. 5 factorial. Okay, will give you 120. But in the case B, it's different. You have 7 chairs, but I only have 5 people. Okay, so I only want to pick 5 chairs, and I want to arrange the 5 chairs. So 7 chairs, pick 5. So 7p5 will give us 2,520. Okay, different arrangements. Because you may have chosen chair number 1, chair number 2, chair number 3, chair number 4, chair number 5. Then you permutate all 5. Okay, but instead of the 5th chair, the second time you choose chair ke-6. You permutate the 5 again. Okay, so the understanding the situation is very important. Okay, if there's any tip that I can give to you, just remember the number of people and the number of people that you want to arrange. This one must always be bigger than this one. Okay, you will not get a situation, for example, 4p6. Okay, where are the 2 people going to come from? They're not hantu. Kamu ada 4 orang, tetapi kamu mau 6 orang di dalam kamu punya pasukan pantun contohnya. Doesn't make sense. You only have 4 people, how are you going to get 6? Okay, and even if you do it on your calculator, 4p6, this is what you will get. Okay, you get a very horrendous math error because the calculator doesn't deal with ghosts. Okay, so a general rule, just make sure that your n is bigger than your r. Okay, n is the number of people you have altogether. R is the one that you actually want to arrange, pick and arrange. Pilih dan atur. Okay, let's do question number 22. Okay, how many numbers can be formed by using at least 2 digits from the digits 3, 4, 5, and 6 if the repetition of digits is not allowed? Now, I'm going to talk about the 2 digits first. Okay, so how many digits you have altogether? You have 4 digits. Okay, but I want to use 2 digits. So I will have to pick and arrange 2 digits. 4 permutate 2. Okay, 4 permutate 2 will give us 12. I think so. 4 permutate 2 will give us 12. But the question is this, dia cakap at least 2 digits tau. Okay, at least 2 digits means if you can have 4 permutate 2, you can also have 4 permutate 3. And you can have 4, and you want to permutate everything, 4 factorial. Okay, so you find that 4 permutate 3 will give you 24. And 4 factorial will also give you 24. Okay, and what do we do with all these three? The number of how many numbers can be 4 will be plus all of this together. Because this is 2-digit number, this is 3-digit number, this is 4-digit number. So you plus all together, you get 60. Okay, and this is also a common method. So whenever you see the word at least, okay, below at least or at most, okay, please, think about it for a second. What does at least mean? At least means I can have two-digit numbers, I can have 3-digit numbers, I can have 4-digit numbers. Can I have 5-digit numbers? You can't, because there's only 4 digits for you to choose from. Okay, so the maximum you can go is only 4. Kenapa saya tidak pilih 1 digit? Because they want at least 2 digits. Okay, so that's why we don't choose 1 digit. Okay, so the reason I highlight this question is because of this word at least. Okay, when you answer the module questions, you will find that this comes up quite often. Okay, because you need to think about what it actually means. Okay, 4 digits, 5 digits. At least, at most, begitu. Okay. Okay, we're going to answer this one last one, and this is a very practical application. A student must key in a password for his laptop computer. Okay, the password consists of 3 letters followed by 4 digits. So let's think about it now. You have 3 huruf, 3 huruf. I'm going to change color for this to be digits. Okay, and 4 digits. This is your password. Okay. The student decides to choose from the letters A, B, C, and from the digits 1, 3, 5, 7, 9, without any repetition of letters or digits. Once again, you see this word, without any repetition of letters or digits. Okay. Question is, in how many ways? Berapa cara? I'm not interested in what are the ways. I'm not interested in the password yang dia boleh buat. Saya mau tahu berapa banyak saja yang dia boleh buat. Okay, let's think about it. Okay, let's think about the letters first. Okay, the letters, there are 3 letters that you have, A, B, C, and there are only 3 tempat kosong. Now, kalau kamu ada 3 dan kau pilih semua, so the answer would this to be 3 factorial. Okay, and then what about this green color one? Green color is how many numbers are there? There are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 numbers, but I only want to choose 4 numbers. Okay, I not only want to choose, I also want to arrange. So this would be 5P4. Okay, so you find out that 3 factorial, you find that 3 factorial will be 6. And 5P4 will be 120. Okay, then what do you do with these 2 numbers? Okay, how do I find this? And this is where the multiplication rule applies. Remember that these are events that happen successively. Okay, or almost at the same time. Now, they happen one after another. He first chooses the letters, and then he chooses the digits. So because of that, okay, we have to multiply. There are 6 ways he can choose 3 letters, and there are 120 ways he can choose 4 letters out of 4 numbers out of 5 numbers to form the password over here. So the number of passwords that you can form is actually 720 passwords. Okay, so this is kind of like the culmination of everything. Okay, the multiplication rule, the factorial, and the permutation. Remember, our multiplication rule happens if ada dua atau lebih event yang berlaku successively, one after another. I choose the letter, then I choose the number. Okay, factorial is, remember we use factorial if you have the same number of data you have, and then you want to choose and arrange all the same number, then you use factorial. Okay, we use this P, okay, we use NPR, okay, we use NPR when this one, okay, there's, there's a big number of numbers or people or officials or whatever, and you only want to choose a few. Okay, kau bukan mau ambil semua, kau hanya mengambil beberapa saja daripada semua. Ini adalah kau ambil semua. Okay, so please know the difference between this. Okay, I think that's all for today. Yeah, that's all for today. So what I would like you to do is, let me see. Oh, yes. Okay. So what I would like you to do for this week, since we only have one class for this week, I would like you to answer this one. Okay, the module that I've given to you. So the first subtopic is the multiplication rule. Okay, and then so page 1, permutations of n different objects. N different objects means kamu ada bilangan objek and you want to permutate everything. Okay, semua. So this one is the factorial one lah. Okay, and then the third one is this one. Permutation of n different objects taken R at a time. Means kau ada banyak dan kau mau mengambil beberapa saja. Okay, so this is the NPR one. I want you to answer the first 3 pages first. Okay, and just take a look at page 1, page 2, page 3 in this module and answer all the questions over there. Okay, and then if you are done with all this, the answers are there. Most of the answers are correct. I think there may be 1 or 2 answers that are wrong. Okay, so do that, and then if you can, okay, in your textbook, okay, in your textbook question, sorry, let me see, okay, in your textbook, page 154, questions 1 to 25. Okay, in your textbooks page 154, question 1 to 25. This is for extra practice. Since we only have 1 class this week for admits, so if you guys want extra practice, lepas kau habis itu 3 muka surat, kalau kamu rasa you want some more practice, go ahead and answer the textbook questions, okay, from question 1 to 25. Some of the questions I've already answered in our webinar today, so you can skip those, or you want to practice also can. But again, remember, the idea behind this is to practice. Okay, to practice the logical thinking. So itu yang selalu kita dapati ramai pelajar rasa ini susah sebab ia memerlukan a little bit more thinking, okay, than usual. Okay, just checking to see if there's any questions from anybody. All right, if there's no questions from anybody, then I will see you all in our next class. Okay, please finish up the 3 pages lah. Okay, and then take care. Okay, take care, stay safe, stay healthy. Okay, and happy fasting to all those who are fasting. Bye.